Unsung geniuses of Maharashtra. Philosophers who can change the world. When we think of global thought leaders, names like Socrates, Confucius, and Rumi often echo through the chambers of history. But what if I told you that on the vibrant soil of Maharashtra, in the western heart of India, lived saints, philosophers, and reformers whose ideas could not only match the depth of any global thinker but could also reshape the modern world if only their voices were heard far beyond language and geography. This is not just a video about history. This is a call to the world to recognize the light that has long shone from Maharashtra through the language of Marathi, one of the oldest and richest tongues of human expression. Let's start with a young boy, Sant Jnaneshwar. Born in the 13th century, he was just a teenager when he wrote the Jnaneshwari, a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita in Marathi. At a time when knowledge was hoarded in Sanskrit and restricted to the elite, Sant Jnaneshwar broke the chains of linguistic elitism and said, Jnana हे सगळ्यांसाठी आहे. Knowledge is for everyone. His verses weren't just religious, they were cosmic. He spoke of the divine as present in every atom centuries before quantum physics caught up. Imagine if the world read Jnaneshwari in English, how many minds could awaken to this beauty? Then came Sant Tukaram in 17th century, a simple man who spoke in Abhang, short divine verses that hit like thunderbolts of truth. Quote, I do not worship with flowers. End quote. He wrote, but with tears and love. He tore through caste, class, and material greed with just his words. His poetry resonates with a raw honesty that today's world needs. A reminder that humility is revolutionary and that God lives in the heart of every honest being. Around the same time, Maharashtra gave us Samarth Ramdas, the warrior saint. While he meditated in solitude, he also urged people to rise. Be strong, he said. Body, mind, and spirit all must be powerful. In his epic work, Das Bodh, he gave practical wisdom not just for monks but for rulers, farmers, students, and even entrepreneurs. His disciple was none other than Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the founder of the Maratha Empire. Ramdas infused him with spiritual clarity and moral courage. Imagine a world where every leader read Das Bodh before taking office. Now let's move into the 19th century, where revolution brewed not just in swords but in pens and minds. Jyotirao Phule, the man who challenged deepest roots of discrimination. While Europe was debating class and socialism, Phule in Pune city was opening the first school for girls, questioning the tyranny of caste and writing Gulamgiri, a book that is as fiery as any manifesto of revolution. He said, liberation begins with education. His wife Savitribai Phule became the first female teacher of India. If their Marathi writings were made available to the world, they would become global icons of human rights and social justice. Gopal Ganesh Agarkar, a rationalist far ahead of his time, thundered against blind tradition. He founded the magazine Sudharak to encourage scientific temper, secular values, and critical thinking. While the West speaks of the age of enlightenment, Agarkar was living it right here in Maharashtra, in Marathi. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we meet Vinoba Bhave, a disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, but a saint in his own right. He walked from village to village and asked rich landowners to donate land to the poor, not by force but by invoking their conscience. That was the Bhudan movement, a peaceful revolution rooted in deep spiritual understanding. He interpreted the Gita not as a book of war but of self realization. His Marathi discourses on the Gita are full of philosophical clarity, soaked in compassion. The world speaks of passive resistance. Vinoba lived it actively. And then there's P.L. Deshpande, not a saint, not a revolutionary, but a philosopher through humor. He understood society like no sociologist could. His essays, his characters, they hold mirrors to human behavior. In his laughter, there is philosophy. In his satire, there is social insight. Translate him, and he could be the Oscar Wilde of the East. Each of these giants, from Naneshwar to Vinoba, from Tukaram to Phule, poured their souls into Marathi. Their words are soaked in rhythm, beauty, and universal truth, but they remain locked to most of the world because of language. It's time we change that. This is why this video exists. Not just to glorify the past, but to invite the future. Marathi is not just a language of songs and cinema, it is a carrier of world changing thought. And if we can translate these ideas faithfully, soulfully, and powerfully, the world will listen. Imagine classrooms in Europe quoting Jnaneshwar. Imagine Phule being taught alongside Martin Luther King. Imagine Dasboth as a guidebook for modern leadership. It's all possible if the world meets Maharashtra through its thinkers. Let this be a beginning. Let the world hear not just our music but our minds. And if you are someone who speaks Marathi, remember your heritage is not just cultural, it's philosophical. You are a torchbearer of one of the richest intellectual traditions the world has ever seen. Marathi is not just a language, it's a universe. And Maharashtra is not just a state, it is a state of mind that can heal, inspire, and awaken the world. Let the world know the thinkers of Maharashtra are ready. Are you?